What's going on? So we got another comparison video, acceleration, performance data. We already did stock to Eurocompulsion Phase 1. If you haven't seen those videos, I actually have two versions up. Because someone called me out saying the temperature difference, which I'll acknowledge that there is a difference in performance and acceleration with the temperature. So I redid the test, stock versus Phase 1, and 45 degrees was what I got when I was stock, and I'm gonna keep that the same or as close as I can. So I did Phase 1, 45 degrees, and finally I got the Phase 2 numbers in, and I gotta say, I was really impressed. I know I've been saying that a lot, but I can't lie, and then because the numbers don't lie, you know what I mean? Like, I was really impressed and surprised with the numbers that I got. Now, if you're new to this type of comparison, by all means, check out my other ones so you understand a little bit more. But real quick, what I'd like to do is third gear, 30 to 75. Basically bottom to top of third gear, no shifting, no launching, trying to take away as many variables as possible, which is what I try to do. I like to kind of think of this as almost like a dyno pull, but instead of seeing the power number and the increase in the power number, we're seeing the decrease in the elapsed time, from 30 to 75, how long it takes. We're seeing how much faster we're getting, not by seeing the horsepower increase, but by seeing the number decrease. So that's kind of the point of this type of test, and I've stuck with it. Stock, Phase 1, now Phase 2. Now I do want to make a note that when Phase 3 comes around with the larger turbo, it's not a huge turbo, but it's still larger. So what does that mean? It's going to spool a little bit slower. So going from the bottom to top of a gear, you might actually be a little bit slower on the bottom, and then it might pick up more on top. But overall, that's not going to be the best way of telling the performance data for when you're going bigger turbo. That's where, like a quarter mile, and you want to start shifting because the power is going to be made more up top. Another way around that is I only started doing this when I was Phase 1. I didn't do it stock. But shout out to Book Auto Works, another YouTuber out there. I didn't even know he was doing 40 to 100s when I did mine. And if I did, I probably would have did what he did. But once I saw his, I was like, that's really smart. He did 40 to 100, but he included 20 mile per hour increments. Now that was perfect. So like I said, I did it for Phase 1. I'm gonna do it again for Phase 2. And that is what I'll do with Phase 3 with the bigger turbo, because then we could see the increase or the decrease in time from 40 to 100, but we could also see 40 to 60, 60 to 80, 80 to 100. And most likely you're going to see on the bottom end of the RPM spectrum, since we're staying in fourth gear for that pull, it might actually be slower once we go big turbo. But then it'll be quicker and quicker, and by the time we do that 80 to 100, it should be a really big increase and overall still be quicker. Just wanted to put that out there real quick. But with that said, we're going to dive in. I'm going to quickly go over the speedometer clips first, showing all three: stock, Phase 1, Phase 2, all side by side. And then we're going to jump into the DRAGY. Now, I want to touch base. I'll probably show you those first, and then I'll touch base, because the slope has been a little bit off with the DRAGY, but it's not me. The road's been the same as the slope, but we'll jump into that in a little bit. Let's go into the performance data now. Speedometer first, and then we'll go from there. And real quick, let's talk about the mods, all right? Stock was completely stock. I think it was literally the third day I owned the car. Phase 1 is, let me think real quick, I don't want to get it wrong, but I believe it's exactly the same bolt-ons as right now for Phase 2. I'll have them on screen because off the top of my head I'm not going to be able to remember them all. Basically, stock was completely stock, 124 Spider Abarth, third day I owned the car. And Phase 1 was with a bunch of bolt-ons. It had lots of bolt-ons, upgraded wheels. So when I went Phase 2, it was basically Phase 2 and upgraded tires. But keep in mind, 30 to 75, there's no difference with the tires. They're actually wider. I don't know if they're heavier, which will slow the car down. I think the weight's the same, but that's going to improve when you're doing a launch, shifting, cornering, turns, that type of track use. 30 to 75 on a car that's not making outrageous numbers to begin with, you're not spinning third gear. You don't got to worry about that. The traction's there. You're not losing grip. So that's kind of irrelevant to that 30 to 75 pull. But with that in mind, like I said, I will put all the mods when I was stock to Phase 1, and then all the mods on Phase 2, which, like I said, should have been all the same besides the Phase 2 tune instead of Phase 1, the upgrading tune, and just the tires, which, like I said, shouldn't really have an effect. Let's dive into that. I don't know if you can even see what I'm wearing, but we got the Enjoy Boost shirt on from DrivenDistrict.com. Check it out if you want to pick up some merch. Always a great way to support the channel. Appreciate everyone who does. So like I was just saying, you can check out DrivenDistrict.com if you want to pick up some merch. I got a bunch of stuff here. We also have a giveaway coming, a big one, I'm not sure if I mentioned it yet, but it'll be in here somewhere in the video. I told you in past videos, I want to do something bigger for giveaways. I'm finally doing it. I don't know when I'm gonna have it just yet, but if you look below in the description, there's also gonna be a Patreon. It's a great way to support the channel. And I'm gonna be doing a lifetime discount for the website. And also, it's gonna help do even more giveaways into the future. It's as cheap as like a couple bucks a month, anywhere from like $2, $5 or some other ones. But check it out. There's a bunch of different perks for different, levels as far as the discounts go. And like I said, it's a great way to support the channel. We're doing some bigger giveaways. The one I have coming up, I'll actually say this: the Forge atmospheric blow valve. It's an over $200 value. Somewhere in this video, I'll be talking more about it. So be sure to check it out. You don't have to. Do not feel obligated. If you don't want to, don't worry. You don't got to do anything with the Patreon, nor do you ever have to buy anything from my site. You can just enjoy the videos. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to subscribe. It helps. It's free. So that's why I tell you guys to do it, because it actually helps. But don't worry. You don't have to. Either way, hope you guys enjoy this. If you do it, it's going to help the channel, and I will greatly appreciate that. So let's keep going. Thanks a lot. I actually got some giveaways coming. I got a Forge atmospheric blow-off valve. Forgot to mention that. We're gonna be doing a huge giveaway on that. Not sure when I'm gonna do it yet. I might hold off until I hit 1,000 subscribers, because it's a big giveaway. This thing retails for what, $2 something? Somewhere in the mid 200s, I think. Shout out to Eurocompulsion for partnering with me to do this. We're gonna do this a little bit later. But if you're interested in a free Forge blow-off valve atmospheric, don't know if it fits other cars. I assume it does. We'll get more into it later, but if you're excited about that, be sure to hit the like button, comment below, subscribe. Like I said, I might hold off on this one until we hit 1,000. I have other giveaways smaller I'll be doing, but the big stuff, I told you I was going to do it, and I am doing it. Blow-off valve, that's no little stuff, all right? Like I said, it's an over $200 and change retail value. So let's dive into the data. All right, so here we go. On the left, we got stock, the middle phase 1, the right phase 2, 45 degrees. Like I said, that's gonna kind of be a baseline temperature that I'm gonna try to keep it at. If you guys have seen my videos before, you already know how this works. The most important thing, I hit the gas well before. I'm already in third gear. I hit the gas well before 30, probably like 20 miles an hour. And then in post, I edit it so everything lines up where the needle is covering. Go a little bit more right there. Right there. So if you look right now, that needle's covering a 30 mile per hour marker in every single run. It's basically covering the 30 mile an hour marker and then one more above and one more below. Hence why you see 3 markers above and below, above and below, above and below. That's very accurate. I've already been given it gas before. So we're gonna hit play. We're gonna let this run through and we're gonna see what happens. I'll probably pause it at little increments and we'll go from there. So at 40, you already see an increase between phase 1 and phase 2. Stock, forget stock. Stock's gonna be left in the dust. We already expected that. There's a bigger difference from stock to phase 1. I think it's about a 40 horsepower increase, as Eurocompulsion claims, and phase 1 to phase 2 is about a 20, if I recall correctly. So we already knew phase 1 would be a pretty noticeable difference from stock. But phase 2 to phase 1, I didn't expect that much. And it was pretty nice, actually. So let's keep going now. We'll go to like 60. You can see already there's a difference. Now I'm pausing it before, because I paused it on 60. I could make them all look like they're almost close. So by pausing it a little before the marker, you can visually see it's easier on the eyes. Let's go up to 75, which is what this test was to. Right there, we're about to hit 75, and phase 1 is just over 70. And stock isn't even at 70. It's like just over 65. Huge difference. Now, just because I'll let it go. Phase 1 and 2, I did go up to 80 miles an hour. In this one, stock, I didn't. The rev limiter or anything was high enough. But with the tune, you have the option to raise the rev limiter. So for the hell of it, we'll keep going. And as you can tell, to 80, still pulling strong, still well ahead of phase 1. And stock is, bye-bye. It's gone. It's in the distance over there. So visually, I like putting this and showing you guys this first. Now we're going to jump into the DRAGY. But real quick, these were all done on the same exact road. Now, like I said before, I'm starting to not trust the DRAGY as far when it comes to like slope and DA. Now I heard that the DA, a lot of people are talking about it. It's not that accurate, this and that. But with the slope, I haven't really heard too many people say it's not accurate. But for my testings, I've been doing this a lot now. I'm noticing the slope, it's giving me 1% positive or a decline, a negative decline or whatever, even though I'm in the same exact road. And this is a perfect example. We're gonna dive into this. I'm gonna quickly show you. Now, stock was done at night, so there's no reflection on the right like these two. So you're gonna have to take my word for it that it was the same road, which it was. I'm very authentic and open about this. I get no benefit from trying to lie about this. But phase 1 and phase 2, we can see that it's the same road. And I'm gonna show you how we can see. So right here, phase 1, you see this, I'm trying to get the marker here, okay. See that tree right there with all these big branches coming out of it and that white house in the background? Now look on the right hand side, what's about to happen in literally a second? Same house, same tree. If we keep going, we see a small little brown house for a second. We see that same one on the right. We keep going, there's one that's very noticeable, so I'm just gonna skip to that real quick. By the end right here, that right there with the 2 extra windows coming out of the roof. What are you gonna see on the right hand side in a split second? The same damn house. Why? Because it's the same exact road. So if you look at the DRAGY and the slope is off, take that with a grain of salt. I don't trust the DRAGY as much anymore. I'm on the same road. I take a turn, go first, second, third, and then just gun it. So is it gonna be like a hair off? Yeah, but not by much. That road is pretty much the same. It's gonna go up a little bit here and there, but as you saw right there, it's within like a second of each other that I'm passing the same house while going 60 miles an hour. So it's very, very close to start and stop point being identical. Understand, this is what I'm working with. I don't have a track, nor do I have a dyno, hence why I'm doing these type of pulls and not horsepower pulls. But I'm trying my best to bring real, authentic data to these type of tunes and everything, you know. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. If you do, like I said before, hit the like button. It definitely takes a lot of time and effort to put these together, but I hope you guys enjoy them, find some value out of it. So now that you saw the speedometer clips, you saw that the road was the same, we're gonna go to the DRAGY results, and we're gonna see what DRAGY told us. Now, keep in mind, when I was stock, it was in the 7s. If I go off the top of my head, when I was phase 2, it was 6.44 at 45 degrees, because at 28 degrees I was 6.22. Now we're gonna go into phase 2. So we went from 7 point something, I forget exactly what it was, to 6.44 to, let's see, and there we go, right there, 5.80. Whew, that really blew me away. I was actually hoping to get into the 5s, but I didn't know if I could. And I was hoping even like a 5.9 something. I would have been happy with going, like dropping half a second, going from 6.44 to 5.9 or something. Like that would have been good. Now, the other thing that I didn't mention before, but if you see my videos, you know, I set up different parameters. You're gonna see 35 to 70, 30 to 70, and 30 to 75. Each one getting a little bit longer as far as like 5 miles per hour more here, 5 miles per hour more there. These are all the same exact run. The point of this is just to try and see if the consistency is there. I just set it up in the DRAGY because you can set up custom data points. So I set up for the same exact run, tell me my 35 to 70, tell me my 30 to 70, tell me my 30 to 75, each one being a little bit wider and broader. And they're always all consistent as far as the increase and how it looks. So we're gonna base this off of 30 to 75, which is the lowest mile per hour to the highest mile per hour that I calculated in third gear, 5.8. Now I always take notes when it comes to this too, because gas and weight, gas tank, and how much it weighs could be a big variable as well. And I know I had notes last time, I forget. I think when I was stock, let's see real quick actually. Stock, my notes here were only third day with the car, mods, stock, obviously, gas tank halfway full, and then trying to go around, where is it? Notes for phase 1. I don't have the notes up in front of me. I think it was between a quarter and half or half and a quarter. I forget, but it was always around half a tank, give or take. It was nothing too crazy. It was between either a quarter or half, or I think it was between quarter and a half, to be honest. I'm gonna have to look back and see 100%. So as you can see, the 5.8, we're back here. I put this in a little bit of an easier to read spreadsheet. So we're gonna do that real quick. This was the data right here. Phase 2, the date that I did it, the temperature, which was 45 degrees according to the iPhone, but keep in mind it was 52 according to the DRAGY. I think the DRAGY just, I don't even know where it pulls it from. Because, again, I don't know. The DRAGY read 52, the iPhone read 45, so take it for what it is. Humidity 62, it was much more humid than last time. We're going to put this right into the comparison. I don't want to waste too much time, so let's dive right into the comparison of all three. Stock, Phase 1, Phase 2, this data that you're seeing right here, but all combined together. So you can pause it if you want and just visually see a nice graphic of all of them. So right here, as you can see, stock, Phase 1, Phase 2. 45 degrees, 45, 45. I read 52 on the DRAGY, but that was it. Humidity was 77, so the most humid. 32, that's not that humid, that's really low. And then 62, almost double the humidity over here. And Phase 1 versus stock, we saved 1.4 seconds. That is freaking huge. And then Phase 1 to Phase 2, 0.64 by going down to that 5.8 from 30 to 75 miles an hour. Now real quick, I'm going to reference that 6.44 from stock to Phase 1 because I actually got a 6.2, I think it was 6.22, but that's when it was 28 degrees. And yes, the temperatures will affect it, not to the degree and amount that some people may think, or at least from my conclusion from my data, it's not an insane amount, but it is noticeable. Then I went back and did it at 45 degrees and got 6.44. That's why I'm using a 6.44. Just how when I'm showing you 5.8, just for transparency, I did do, that was the second time I did the test. I did it once more before Phase 2, 30 to 75, maybe a week before, give or take, I forget, a couple days before, it was sometime before that, and I got 6.0, forget the last number, 6.0 something, so 6.0, but it was warmer. And I was like, oh man, I really want to get into the fives. I'm going to try this again when it hits 45 degrees. So that's why I used the 5.8. When it was for the 6.44, I used the slower result. And when it came to the Phase 2, which is the 5.8, I used the quicker result. But the reason being is it's more in line. It's relevant because it's all 45 degrees. So it's only fair that I do that. But even 6.0 would have been a hell of an increase in power, decrease in time, from 6.44 to 6.0. But again, with the same temperature, it went from 6.44 to 5.8. Now, keep in mind, I say this in all my other videos too when I'm doing testing like this, there are still a lot of variables that are out of my control that will be different for everyone else. One is octane. I'm on 93 octane. This is all pump gas, 93 octane. I'm in New Jersey. The density, altitude, elevation is going to be different. Temperature is going to be different, but that's why I try to keep that similar, you know? Your mods are also going to be dependent on the performance increase you get. I'm Phase 2, but I have a lot of supporting mods, including supporting mods that some people say are completely useless. But I've said this before, I'm okay spending a little extra money upgrading the other parts on my car, even if it's not for performance and power numbers, like coil packs, spark plugs. People are like, why doing it? Just wait till your stock ones fail, and then if you're going to replace them, then upgrade them. I just saw it as, let me upgrade to the ones that are meant to handle more power. Could the stock ones be fine? Of course they could. Some people are running them fine, but then I also know people who ran completely stock and they had issues with their coil packs and spark plugs and other issues that when they upgraded them, the car ran smoother, the idling was better, no breakup up top. So again, you could do whatever you want to do. I'm just a person who rather upgrade. If I'm going to be pushing an extra, whatever, 50, 60 horsepower over stock, I'd rather upgrade some of the components that might fail. Even if they're okay right away, upgrade them because I think it will run a little bit smoother, stronger, long term it's going to be safer. But again, that's all personal preference. Do whatever you want to do. I'm just saying the numbers I got, keep in mind they're going to be according to my exact mods, everything that I did to the car, which I'm very open and transparent about that. It's still stock turbo, it's 93 octane pump gas, nothing fancy as far as race gas or methanol or bigger turbo yet. Still just bolt-ons and a tune at this point, nothing crazy. Now, let's talk about stock to Phase 2. Stock to Phase 2, 1.4 seconds stock to Phase 1, 0.64 Phase 1 to Phase 2. That's over 2 seconds from stock to Phase 2. And I'll be the first to say, that sounds crazy. That sounds absolutely crazy because a stock 124 at the quarter mile Though a lot of magazines say it's about 14, what is it, 14.8, I forget. A lot of magazines say high 14s. Realistically, most people are hitting 15s. Even maxed out bolt-ons or close to maxed out, like kind of like what I'm running right now, very close to max out. Are there other little bolt-ons that are available for the 124 that you can do? Yeah, but these are like the main bolt-ons that folks do, and the highest tune before so-called going to a larger turbo, regardless of your tuner. These are kind of where you're at. And I think Ken, his name, I think it's Caldron if I pronounce it right, on the forum, 124spider.org forums, has the record, I believe, according to the forums at least, for stock turbo pump gas. And his car had very similar to mine in the sense of, like, you know, all bolt-ons, Eurocompulsion Phase 2 tune, and he was 14.3. Forget the mile per hour. Was it 93, 95? I think it was 93. I'll put it up on screen over here somewhere. But he was 14.3 and change. And then I think it's Brett from Auto Recombi with a, I think it was a torque tune. He was a 14.5, so not that much slower, but right behind 14.5 at whatever, some other mile per hour. And those are kind of, I think, two of the quicker 124s that are tuned on just straight pump gas and stock turbo with just your bolt-ons. So 14.3, 14.5, yeah. I'm sure you guys are like me saying that's not fast, nor does it sound like a huge improvement from a stock car. It's supposed to be in the high 14s. Like I said, I think it's more in the 15s, realistically, for people. So I'll be going to the track on June 11th. Today is May 31st. I have no clue when this video is going up because I'm going to have to do a lot of editing. It's not easy. It's not just recording and boom, you're done. It's a lot of editing to make it look good on screen with all the components I'm putting together. So when you see this, hopefully it's before June 11th. So I'm going to be going to the drag strip on June 11th to get some quarter mile times, with a goal in mind of trying to beat 14.3, because that would put me probably the quickest, unless there's other people out there who haven't, you know, warm vocal about it. But to be serious, the real goal is to get into the 13s. Back to 2 seconds. If I'm knocking off 2 seconds, 30 to 75 in third gear, then it should be a piece of cake to get into the 13s. But I really don't think it is. And I'm still trying to wrap my head around this one. So, you know me, I love talking cars and talking about all this stuff. So let me know why you think our cars, it's so hard to get into the 13s or just drop that quarter mile time down. I'm thinking, like, just off the top of my head, our cars are very punchy and torquey in the mid-range. And then up top, at least with the stock turbo, kind of dies out pretty quick and doesn't hold a lot of power. So 30 to 75 is from the bottom to top of third gear, including that meaty, punchy, torquey part in the middle for a good amount of time, slowly going through. When you're drag racing at the quarter mile, you're launching, before you know it, you're above 4,000 RPM, and then every shift after that, you're up top, where the power is just declining a little bit at a time. Maybe that's why it's harder to get a quarter mile time that's relevant to what looks like to be a 2 second savings just from 30 to 75 in one gear from bottom to top. Let me know what you guys think, your theories, your thoughts, and everything on that. You know, I'll be the first to admit as well that we don't have drag carts. These are not meant for the drag strip. Straight up, they're not. But you know, it's fun. I still want to do it. I haven't been to the drag strip, oh my god, I don't even know. 10 years, I really don't know. And this was with an Evo, it's all-wheel drive, completely different. So it's been a long time. But I'm nervous, but I'm freaking excited because I really want to try and get into the 13s. And then maybe going out through the year, I'll start doing a little more road course, autocross, or just track-oriented, not just drag strip, which is really what this car is meant for. But you know, I got a drag strip not too far away. Shout out to, New Jersey's Finest Motor Club. He's hosting the event with me and some other folks, June 11th, Island Dragway. If this video's out before and you want to go, let me know. He's going to have a media company doing a lot of recording and stuff. I'll be there. He rented out the track that day. That's when we're going to be going. So hopefully I can get a good amount of passes in. Really try to get into the 13s. Amazon's here. So it's really going to be dependent on the temperature too. Like I said before, I went from 6.44 at 45 degrees when I was phase 1. And I was able to get 6.22 down to 28 degrees. Now, the temperature makes a difference, but I almost feel like the difference is going to be much more noticeable when it gets really warm. What I mean is like 30 to 45, that 15-degree difference, to me, I don't think is gonna be as noticeable or as much of an impact on the car from going like 45 to 60. More importantly, another 15 to like, let's say 75, when things really start to heat up in there. So we're gonna see. The temperature really might determine if I can get into the high 13s or get stuck in the 14 somewhere. We're gonna cross fingers and hope that it is a cool night and the weather's good. We're gonna see what happens. So I think I covered everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video showing the performance data. I'm extremely happy with this. Like I said, if we look at the numbers actually, Phase 1, like I said, it's about a 40 horsepower difference or upgrade from stock, as Eurocompulsion calls it. And Phase 2 to Phase 1 is only like about a 20, so about half. And you look at the speed difference, I saved, what is it, negative 1.4 seconds. And then from Phase 1 to Phase 2, 0.64. 0.64, let's say 0.65, you round that up, double that, that's 1.3. And it was 1.4 seconds that I saved. So the tune, it's really relevant. It makes sense what Eurocompulsion is saying. You're getting a larger increase stock to Phase 1, and then Phase 1 to Phase 2, you're getting about half that power increase. And of course, my numbers in performance was about half in time savings. So the numbers don't lie, they're here. People say, oh, Phase 2 is not that much of a difference. If you see my reaction video when I went Eurocompulsion Phase 2, I'll put the hell do you call, card up here and in the description. I even took my girlfriend for a ride. She felt a huge difference from the butt dyno. I felt a huge difference from the butt dyno. But now the numbers are here too. So for the folks who are like, oh, you don't feel a difference, you had me driving it, first time impressions, girlfriend's first time impressions. My friend, well, that wasn't, he didn't know what it felt like, Phase 1 at least. But I had Phase 1 for, I don't know, 3 months, then went Phase 2, and I was like, holy, like, this is a noticeable difference. And now the numbers are showing you the noticeable difference as well. So people like to talk a lot, but I'm here to try and bring you guys some truth. You know, I may sound really excited about it because I am. I do this because I thoroughly just enjoy it. If I had another competitor tune, I'll be doing this for them in the sense of like, this is what I will be doing. People say, oh, you're pushing Eurocompulsion. Does that mean I'm also pushing OZ because I rock their ultraleggera wheels, or Ragazzon because I'm rocking their exhaust? It's me creating content for my channel and hopefully providing content that you guys like as well. I'm only going to be able to create content around what I have. If I have a certain tune, a certain exhaust, a certain set of wheels, guess what? That's what I'm going to be making my videos about. So that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a like, comment below. Let me know what you think. I love talking cars, as all you guys know already. Be sure to subscribe. If you didn't hear it before, I have a giveaway coming. Forge atmospheric blow-off valve. Eurocompulsion and me are doing this giveaway. Shout out to them as well. I don't know when I'm going to host it. I might wait till I get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys want to share it around a little bit, get people up, once I get closer to there, I'll let you guys know. It's going to be an easy way to enter once I decide when I'm going to do it. But like I said, it's about over a $200 value. So be sure to subscribe. I'll have all my other social media links below to catch up with me over there. And again, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys soon. Thanks a lot.